It's just disgraceful. Disgraceful. It is an absolute outrage what we saw at Stamford Bridge today. Like, what a shocking week. Like, I truly believed, I was desperate to believe that the humiliation at Old Trafford last week was going to inspire this side to perform today. I thought that what happened last week, that abomination at Old Trafford, was going to make these players desperate to prove people wrong, desperate to get the season back on track, almost use a defeat in the most shameful way against a dreadful Manchester United team, use that defeat as some sort of galvanising springboard to bring us together. And I thought that the inept display from Enzo Maresca last week, where he was totally outthought by someone as average as Ruben Amorim, was going to wake him up. It was going to force him, to inspire him to be excellent today. And the opposite happened. The opposite happened. Instead, that performance at Manchester United is quite simply an indicator of who we are. That is who we are. And if you analyse Chelsea's results this season, you will see that that is who we are. So we have to ask why. Why? Why are Chelsea so average? Why are Chelsea so distinctly average? Why are Chelsea not winning games of football when we are so much better in terms of personnel than the opposition? And I think it's a very simple answer. The manager is a loser. And I don't mean that in the emotional way. I don't mean it in an insulting way. I mean that the manager is a losing manager. He's a manager that loses games of football. He's a manager that doesn't win. You know those managers, there are managers that win no matter what. They're pragmatic and they find a way to win. Jose Mourinho wins. Antonio Conte wins. Luis Enrique wins. Guardiola wins. Klopp wins. Slot wins. There are winning footballing managers. And then there are competitors. Then there are losers. And I just think that Enzo Maresca is proven to be in the latter quality. I just don't think that he is a truly great manager. And if you look at his in-game management today, it was disgustingly bad. If you look at his tactical approach today, he was totally and utterly outthought by Hertzler. If you look at his team selection, it's just all over the place. His substitutions were laughable. I just don't see where we're going to go from here. His conduct overall, it's that of a loser. Now let me qualify it. Let me qualify it because I feel like a lot of people, when I say that he's a loser, they'll get annoyed with me. But I read something today and it just blew my mind. It just blew my mind. The Chelsea manager, it's one of the biggest jobs in the country. It's one of the biggest jobs in world football. If you were to list the 10 biggest managerial jobs, I think that you could easily say that the Chelsea manager is one of them. You think about the managers that Chelsea have had over the years, following in the footsteps of true greats of the game like Carlo Ancelotti, Jose Mourinho, Antonio Conte. It's one of the biggest jobs in world football. Your responsibility as the Chelsea manager is to believe, it's to inspire, it's to create, and it is to make Chelsea the best that we can be. It's to make us champions. It's to believe that you can make us champions. Now, when I was talking about a loser, a losing mentality, have you heard what Enzo Maresca has been saying about Liverpool? Like, for the record, I believe that Liverpool are going to win the league. I believe that Liverpool are the best team in the country. But my responsibility isn't to somehow dethrone Liverpool. I am not employed by Chelsea Football Club, by one of the biggest clubs in the country, by a recent champion. I'm not employed by them to somehow stop Arne Slot's machine. I cannot believe that Enzo Maresca is comfortable saying these words. Let me read them to you so that we are not doing him a disservice. I'm going to read these words to you and you tell me if you believe that these words are acceptable. From the manager of Chelsea Football Club, talking about Liverpool Football Club here. He says, if they continue in this way, I think it's impossible to catch them. That's the spirit. I think it's impossible to catch them. Not just for us, but for everyone, for all of the other clubs. That is the Chelsea manager. He's talking about Liverpool like he's a fan. We should get him some pom-poms. Get him out cheerleading at Anfield. Get him a season ticket at Anfield. If he thinks that Liverpool are this good and he doesn't believe that there's any way that he can somehow dethrone Slot, what is the point of being Chelsea manager? Antonio Conte came into Chelsea. He took a team that were in disarray. The disparity between the Chelsea fans and Chelsea ownership, it was a bad place for Chelsea then. He came in and he took over not a very good team. A team where Michy Batshuayi played a significant role. A team where Marcus Alonso played a significant role. A team where Victor Moses played a significant role. And he made us champions because he inspired. He instilled a belief, a winning quality. He was pragmatic. And he found a way to create a team of champions. He most certainly did not say, Guardiola's a good manager, we're not going to beat them. He most certainly did not say, Jurgen Klopp and half a good manager, we're not going to beat them. He inspired the team. We have seen Enzo Maresca there tell us that Liverpool are too good. Liverpool have been doing a fantastic job since last year, and the players they have brought in shows the intention of the club to go again for the Premier League and the Champions League. Surely Maresca should not be saying that, and we have seen him demonstrate this loser's mentality before. We have seen him do it. Do you remember last year? We went to Everton around Christmas time, just before 21st of December. We went to Everton. Because Liverpool had a game that wasn't played, we had the opportunity to go top of the league. If we'd beaten Everton, not a good Everton team, not a Moyes Everton team, a Sean Dyche Everton team, if we had beaten them, that everyone was beating, we would have gone top of the league, which was symbolic. We didn't win that game. We drew 0-0. Do you know why? Because before the game, Enzo Maresca said that Chelsea can't win the league. The Chelsea manager said, no, we're not in the title race. He told his players, he told the fans of the club, he told the owner, we're not in the title race. Do you know what happened off the back of him saying that? We didn't beat Everton. Off the back of that, we ended up dropping points all over the place, culminating in one of the most embarrassing defeats at Portman Road. An Ipswich team that's really struggled for wins, really struggled for points, that ultimately went down. We went to Portman Road and we got beat. They also took points off us at Stamford Bridge. All under Maresca's tutelage, all under Maresca's guidance, all under Maresca's watch. Maresca watching from the dugout. Think how many games are won and lost in the dugout. You know, it's all very well having the players on the pitch, but it's tactical genius. It's Jose Mourinho making that tactical substitution, that nuance. It's Jose Mourinho subbing the sub, doing something totally unpredictable, bringing on Joe Cole, taking off Joe Cole. Maresca is passive. He can't win games from the dugout. He can't win games from the dugout. We can win games of football, of course we can, because we have some very good players. But he will not manage this team to victory. He will get outthought by other managers. He was outthought today by Hertzler. He was outthought last week by Ruben Amorim. And his team were outfought. You cannot be being outfought by this pitiful Manchester United team. He cannot work out ways to win from the dugout. He cannot change a game with his in-game management. He cannot deviate from his pathetic system. And he isn't a winning manager because he's a loser. Look, we win games of football. We win games of football because, primarily, of the brilliance of Cole Palmer. Think about it. Think about all of the big results that Chelsea have had. It's all down to the brilliance of Cole Palmer. It's not down to the managerial acumen of Enzo Maresca, is it? It happens in spite of the managerial qualities of Enzo Maresca. Enzo Maresca happens to be witnessing it, but it doesn't happen because of him. You know, when Chelsea made it to a European final, when we beat Liverpool in a semi-final, we made it to Moscow. We were a rizza paper away from winning a European Cup. The manager of the team happened to be Avram Grant that day. But we didn't get to that Champions League final because of the brilliance of Avram Grant. We got to that final in spite of Avram Grant. Avram Grant happened to be the manager. He was witnessing it. But I was in Moscow. I was there. I witnessed it too. Me and Avram Grant had a similar impact on what happened that night. Had a similar impact on getting the team there. He just happened to be the Chelsea manager. But he was witnessing the brilliance of Frank Lampard. He was witnessing the brilliance of Didier Drogba. He was witnessing the brilliance of Michael Essien and Ashley Cole. That is what happened. It wasn't down to him pulling the strings, working out a brilliant way of making it work. It wasn't that. And that's what we have with Enzo Maresca. Enzo Maresca witnesses Chelsea win games. And invariably, they win games. We win games of football, not because of his system. We win them because of the brilliance of Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer deviates from his system. This isn't my feeling. Cole Palmer himself has told us this. Listen to the words that Cole Palmer said. Off the back of us winning in Wrocław, when we won in Poland, we lifted the Conference League. We, in theory, did something quite significant, although it's also important to acknowledge that we played a team along the way that I'd never heard of. Have you ever heard of Noah? We beat Shamrock Rovers on the way to winning it, so let's not overstate how significant it is for Maresca to win that trophy. But we beat Real Betis in the final, Pellegrini, good win. Why did it happen? Did it happen because Maresca outthought Pellegrini? Or did it happen because Cole Palmer told us that he gave up on the manager's instruction? Cole Palmer told us that he gave up on the manager's instruction, decided to do it his own way, played some fantastic football, put in a sumptuous cross, got to the bar. Like, Cole Palmer won us that game because he is a maverick who goes against the will of the manager. He told us that. He told us it. Think about other big wins. When we beat Brighton about a year ago, almost a year ago to the day, I think. What happened? Cole Palmer scored 4 goals in the first half. Cole Palmer did that. Cole Palmer did it. Maresca witnessed it, but Cole Palmer scored 4 goals in the first half, pinging in a free kick from 35 yards. That isn't down to the managerial brilliance of Enzo Maresca. That's down to the true beauty of Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer being one of the best footballers ever. Like, in the modern day game, I mean. Like, in terms of like all of the players currently playing in the modern day game, Cole Palmer is as good as any of them. I really believe that. I think he's a Ballon d'Or waiting to happen. Think of another significant win for Maresca. So we've spoken about Poland. I mentioned Brighton. I'm sure you can think of others. Let's talk about what happened in the United States in the summer. We beat Luis Enrique's team. We smashed Paris Saint-Germain. We won, lifted silverware in New York City. You cannot overstate the beauty of that. It's historic. And it is wonderful. And I'm over the moon that it happened. But did it happen because Enzo Maresca is an elite level manager? Or did it happen because Cole Palmer was unplayable that night? No, we're just not good enough under Maresca, and this season has been an utter catastrophe. Like, we have won 2 games of football this season. Manchester United, just for context here, have won 2 games of football this season. The 2 games that we have won, we've beaten West Ham United because everyone beats West Ham United because it was Graham Potter's West Ham United, and we slapped them. That's why we've scored the amount of goals that we've scored, by the way, because 5 of them came in 1 game. And we've beaten Fulham. And think about what happened against Fulham. Do you remember that foul on the halfway line? They should have gone 1-0 up. It could have been a very different story if Marco Silva gets his nose ahead. So we've won 2 games. One of them was against the worst manager in the Premier League who's now been sacked. And the other one, we were very lucky. Away from that, we've been struggling. We haven't won a game against a decent team. We've beaten Lincoln. We ain't won a game for a month. Like, all of the fixtures that we've played that should have been winnable. Brentford. How are we not beating Brentford? You know, then we went away to Munich and we got embarrassed. But then we're playing one of the worst Manchester United teams ever. We're playing one of the worst Manchester United teams ever. One of the worst Manchester United managers ever. A Manchester United team that, off the back of beating us, just lost 3-1 to Brentford. And it's a Brentford team that were in disarray. It's a Brentford team that had the heart ripped out of them in the summer. Both of their top goal scorers gone. Their captain, Norgard, gone. Their manager, gone to Tottenham. And they've just battered Manchester United, a Manchester United team that battered us. Like, the ill-discipline of this team. Forever having a man sent off. Yeah, you could blame the individuals, but at what point does that become personal responsibility to the manager? At what point does the manager have to take some reflection on this team's ill-discipline? Like when Wenger was having players sent off all the time, we were constantly saying that he doesn't have a grip of his team. And I really don't see where we go from here. I don't see how it's going to improve. Like, I really don't. Jose Mourinho's coming back to Stamford Bridge. It's going to be immense. It's going to be amazing. We will roll the red carpet out for our greatest ever manager. And he will demonstrate quite what we are lacking. He will demonstrate quite everything that we are supposed to be. And then we play Liverpool off the back of them getting beat. So they're going to be well up for it, right? I mean, if we don't beat Liverpool, which I don't think we will, it will mean that we will have gone well over a month. It means that, in my opinion, our next win will come on the 18th of October. Our last league win prior to that would have been August the 30th. He's just not a good enough manager for Chelsea. Chelsea are a club that should be demanding excellence. We're a club that should be competing. We're a club that should be in a title race. We're a club that shouldn't have a manager that tells us Liverpool are going to win the league after 5 games in the season. If you want to believe he's good enough, fine. If you're a Chelsea fan that thinks these standards are all right, fine. But I'm constantly being gaslit to believe people are good enough. I said about a year ago on the overlap that Nicholas Jackson wasn't good enough to play for Chelsea. Chelsea fans went mad at me. They said it was disloyal. They said he was brilliant. They said I didn't know what I was talking about. They were really hateful about me. As soon as he leaves, they all say he's rubbish. Enzo Maresca is a Chelsea manager. He is not good enough to be the Chelsea manager. This ownership are running us into the ground. They are not trying to win titles. They are not building a team to win titles. They are building a team to make themselves money. And it's damaging, incredibly damaging. And how we're going to proceed, I do not know. But if we persist with this manager, we're not going to make it into the Champions League spots. And because of that, they may act. Not yet, because they don't want to pay him off. But maybe they will act. It's just been a disaster. It really has. You know, we've won 2 games. Man United have won 2 games. And we've had far easier fixtures. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know about all of the points that I've raised. Really interested to hear your thoughts. But Enzo Maresca is not the man for the job. I know that. I know that to be true. I knew it when we plucked him from the Championship. And he got us over the line last year. He did what was asked of him. But as soon as you explore why, he didn't qualify. He didn't qualify for the Champions League. Forest threw it away. He didn't win that Conference League. Not that it particularly matters. He didn't win it. Cole Palmer won it, going against his instruction. He didn't batter Luis Enrique. Cole Palmer did. There, right there.